sorcerer of the ages, the guardian of ancient secrets, and the voice of the old ways.
Do you think that the stones of Rome, with all their grandeur and might, could blind my sight? Do you believe that because I stand beneath foreign skies, far from the mist-covered hills of our sacred isle, that I am not attuned to the whispers of the wind, the songs of the earth, and the cries of the spirits?
Foolish! My eyes see beyond the limits of mortal men, beyond the walls of Rome, beyond the seas that separate us. Time and distance are mere trifles to me.
Let me show you just how far I can see, and you will understand the true extent of my power. Look around you and see the world as it truly is. But before we can talk of what is, we must first talk about what was. All things that are to occur have origins that birth them. Britain's fate has turned sharply over the past century. Constantine brought peace and knighthood to the land, but he was slain by the treachery of Vortigern. This led to Vortigern's rise and the Saxon threat, as the Saxons saw an opportunity to invade and conquer the land. Vortigern's tyranny sparked a rebellion, and Aurelius Ambrosius restored order, introducing feudalism and knightly warfare. Uthar's lust for all that was not his fractured the realm, leaving Britain in chaos and vulnerable to Saxon conquest. The Saxons have seen an opportunity to invade and conquer the land, and they have taken advantage of the situation. It is not just the Saxons who have their eyes on the fractured kingdom of Logres. There are many great warlords who would take advantage of this time of anarchy. Cerdic, the last living son of Vortigern Tyrannus, not of his first wife, but the Saxon Rowena. He is more Saxon invader than person of Britain, and for that the people of this land will reject him. He poses a great threat for Britain, should the Saxon warlords unite behind him. King Idres is as much an invader of Britain as the Saxons. He represents the worst in men, an opportunist who will claim at any cost. He is amongst those who would profess that might is right, and for that I would wish him a swift end, but for the growing concern that his son Prince Mark would be far worse. Nanteliod, the descendant of Vortigern the tyrant, and Vortimer the people's king? Of all the invaders of Logres, he is the most worthy. But most is not to say that he is right as a high king. The land will decide. It always does, for the land and the king are one. None should forget of Lot, a great North king from a line of great North kings. He is without fear, but for that of his deceitful wife Margals. With enough time, he will unite the North against Logres and settle a score that his people have been waiting generations to settle. But are those that still stand in place of a Logres king enough to hold the invaders at bay? It is uncertain. The Saxon invaders are powerful and numerous, and the Angles are also a threat. The land is vulnerable, and it needs a strong leader to defend it. If the land falls, the invaders will not stop until they have conquered all of Britain. Ulfius, the perfect duke, a dear friend to Uther. Despite his disdain for my presence, I can say that it was no fault of Ulfius's counsel that Uther let his nature consume him. I suspect he would run me through if he had the chance. Even so, he remains the barrier that Logres needs from the Saxons and Angles, who press their advance further west. Duke Corneas is one of the rudest and most stubborn of men I have ever met, and it is in these qualities that he defends Logres from the north so successfully. It was a blessing that he did not meet his end when Octa and Eosa sacked Lindsay. I will share a secret with you now. It is what I have seen. It is not in these warlords that the fate of Britain will be decided, but in the caliber of the next High King and the qualities of the knights who stand beside him. The knights of Britain must be strong and loyal, and the High King must be wise and just. If they should falter, so too will the land.
All right, we're in. Welcome to Open Pendragon, Anarchy and Londinium. Outside of Londinium currently. We'll figure that out. We have a fourth player joining us. We are missing our shepherd. All quickly ridicule Gary. Send him lots of hate mail. Tell him he's a terrible person.
Come on, Gary, you're supposed to be our priest.
Our moral guide.
Okay.
Auspicious that your moral guide leaves the day that you get a pagan in your midst.
Funny that.
It's okay, I'm pagan. It's not. It's fine.
Oh,
It's
dope. Finally. I'm not the only pagan in the group.
Very different kinds.
They're growing.
All right. I'm just going to set up our new guy here so we have everything we need. That's not what I want.
Not they're growing. It's like, look, I am a lovable pagan. I'm
So,
down.
guys, there is more of them.
Oh no.
I'm
My friend.
aiming to play this character as I am burning all of my candles at being famous enough that my kids will have money.
It's always a goal. It sounds like me in real life. No. Hold on one second.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay. And then just one more thing. We're going to get your photo all set up here.
thank you.
Okay.
I think Rebecca's trolling me in chat.
That's fair.
It is.
When are they not?
Yeah. It's among the fairest of things considering how much I troll them in their Summerland game.
Wow.
That's true.
I
Mm-hmm.
no.
No.
No. Bad.
This would be cool. Having worked so hard to get out of London, we are now
Working hard to get back into London.
to London. Yeah.
It's like we never left.
It's the problem of cities. You always want to get away from them, go back to nature, but they keep dragging you back in.
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
That was wrong. Okay, one sec. One more thing. 19th try is a charm.
Stupid Roll20 admin. It's always an uphill battle.
No, we're just getting everything set up properly here. Welcome to Open Pendragon, where we do this stuff on the stream without panic.
Yeah. On the fly. It's fun. Yeah,
Sacrifice.
part of the setup.
This is what would happen if we had someone join us just as we were getting started.
Hypothetical.
Part of the fun.
It's giving me time to try and catch up on why we're going back into London.
I have a plan.
Okay. That's good.
Money.
We're doing this on behalf of Lady Jenna, right?
Yeah, you still
No,
haven't
not-
met with. There we go. So, real quick, let's introduce our new person. Can you say hi, Sir Duddick? Let's make sure you work here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sir Duddick.
All right, you are officially bouncing around as an icon now. So there we
Hooray.
go. Yeah. Okay, so you haven't met with UFO yet, but you did take on work with her to go check on the outcome of her husband UFO. UFO is the we haven't introduced Duddick yet. We will do so as part of the story, but for tonight's purposes, dang it, one sec. Well, that sucks. Okay, give me a sec. More setup time. Ooh, yay.
If you'd like, I can do a quick recap of what's happened so far.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, do that. I'm multitasking. It's not
All right.
working out.
No problem. So we first begun our adventure in Londinium in a feast, in which we met with the local lord, or at least the one that's been left stewarding Londinium since the death of King Uther. And things have not been going well. Well, at least for the general population. The knights and lords are having a great time, having feasts every now and then, enjoying things. And that was where we met Sir Uthered and re-met Sir Gaius, where they were enjoying a feast. Afterwards, about halfway through the feast, Sir Rodri, after literally climbing his way into the city, doing some stealthy Metal Gear type shit, eventually made his way inside in the attempt to gain some the forces of Londinium to help aid with the battle that is currently raging outside of its walls. He, however, only managed to convince 2 knights and some ladies. So let's just say his plan didn't go very well. After which they made their way out of the city to try and catch up to the battle, only to realize that the battle had already begun and that their own forces had already begun a retreat. This led them to start sailing down the river from Londinium in the direction of Silchester, where they met up with a strange priest, a shepherd, Fred? We'll call him Fred for now.
Fred.
Where he was currently had a encounter with the questing. Though in the moment believing it to be some demon. We then made our way over to Silchester to share the information that we had found that the Saxons had been seen sailing past Staines, sailing their way down the river, and that Silchester may indeed be in danger. We then reported our way back there after some long traveling. Had some brief conversations with important figures, letting them know what's happened, and that the battle for London did not go very well for us. Then we had a quick conversation as a group over a few drinks, trying to figure out what to do next, before we were called in to meet Lady Jenna, who is the sister of the current Count of Salisbury. And Lady Jenna is married to Sir Ufo, who is the son of the Duke of Silchester. And she has tasked us with finding out what has happened to her husband, or actually at this point, husband to be. I don't think the marriage hasn't happened. And we are now on an adventure to track him down and find out what happened and whether he still lives.
Okay. Mission:
Yeah.
find UFO.
Exactly. Out of character, our true mission is to find a way to get back into Londinium. But our characters don't know that yet.
What could possibly
Okay.
go wrong?
And I have
So
a
many
plan.
things. But let's
But I
go.
shall not share my plan until we get to that point. And once Bob is ready. I'm sure he'll interrupt me when everything is fixed and ready. So until then, I'm gonna ramble. Is actually, I'll leave the rambling to my fellow players. Is there anything you guys would like to add?
So Uhtred would want to know, like, all these fancy noble ladies and gentlemen, lords are asking what we can do for them. Well, telling us what we can do for them, but no, it's like, are we getting paid for this or no?
I think we're definitely getting paid for them.
Okay, that'd be great.
That's an important
This
question.
is technically a request from the Count of Salisbury on behalf of his sister. And the Count of Salisbury does not know that he has made this promise.
But it was definitely real.
Definitely
He
real.
doesn't know, but it's real.
Yes.
Sir. Strangely untrustworthy words.
Yeah, don't like those words. I go
He
through
doesn't
all
know
this,
it yet, but we're working for him.
Yeah.
going through all this effort to save this noble lord, and no guarantee of being paid. Man, can you imagine doing all that work? It's like, most definitely would kill that guy. Either I'm getting paid or this guy dies.
It's anarchy, you know? These things happen.
Yeah, it's anarchy.
I like it.
Okay.
Lots to get broken in this situation.
That will have to be good enough. No, it won't. I'm gonna try one more thing.
I'm just happy to be doing something productive.
That's interesting. So there's a tool called Transmorgify. It's very useful for cutting over things from one Roll20 to another. When it works. That's the caveat.
Yep.
It works 99% of the time. Right now, it's currently moving everything to archived when I send it over.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's
It works
useful.
all the time, most of the time.
I've never seen this issue, but whatever. Close enough. I got 90% of what I need to work with. Okay, so just to throw in, we always use tokens to try and help explain stuff. This is UFO, who you're currently looking for. I would show you Jenna. I can't find Jenna.
I think a token is broken.
Yeah.
The image above.
She's a very graceful looking young blonde lady.
Where's
It
this
does not
token?
look like. It's in their Roll20 chat.
Oh, chat. Okay. Okay, I see it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Roll20 is really pissing me off right now because this is just stuff. This is stuff I do every single week, and it's not working now. So,
Yeah. C'est la vie.
I'm gonna go on BRB, folks. We'll be right back. I hope Rebecca, did you guilt Gary into joining us? We're back.
We've been bullying people.
Yeah. Welcome to Taking Time About Gaming, where we internet bully people into playing our games with us.
Cyberbullying
Never
for
understood
content.
the never understood the peer pressure thing. It's like, no, I'm standing my ground. The answer is no.
Yeah, that's fair. It was mostly a joke, but it might have actually worked.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so what do you guys remember about what you were tasked by Lady Jenna with?
We were tasked to find Ufo and find out what has happened to him. Ensure he's alive.
All right. We're going to move forward at a slightly faster pace because you guys are further back than I want you to be in the long run.
We can montage a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that I bring some type of skill in the search because I'm not known for being a tracker.
That's fun.
Yeah, well, there's good news. Silchester's not hard land to track from. You'd probably just want to head east and see what you can find. There is a bit of forest between Staines and Silchester. Dudig, you're not with us yet. We're going to get the 3 companions here to all make a hunting roll. If we get all failures and 1 fumble, that's a bad scenario. Everything else will be just fine.
So everybody rolls, or is it just the one?
Just the 3, not you yet. You're not here yet, Dudig. We'll get to you.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Have a pass. So Gaius grew up in the swamps of Lambor? Lindsay. The swamps of Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got decent hunting.
All right. 1 success, 2 failures. Roll me 2d100 for you, Sir Gaius.
D100? 2D100?
2d100.
37 and 14.
Also, Bob, should Gary roll?
Is Gary here?
He is now.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You can make a hunting roll if you have it, Gary. We'll assume he's getting situated and continue from there. While he's doing so, as you're moving towards Staines, around a bend in the forest, you hear, let's do some awareness tests. This will be Uthredred, Rodri, Gaius, and Farad.
Us.
Sense. Nate.
Okay. Both Gaius and Rodri, as you're kind of traveling about, it's been hours on the road. You're mingling, interacting at least a bit. You hear noise ahead. It sounds like at least a contingent of men would be your guess. You hear the sound of horses and the sound of conversation.
Is the conversation in Kimric or in Saxon?
Hard to say.
Hmm.
You know when you hear the sound of voices but can't pick out what they're saying?
Yeah.
I think we're
Gaius
not. Go on.
Gaius will say, "Voices ahead. Wait here." He'll just and he will sneak ahead a little bit just to make sure that they're not Saxon on the way.
Cerulean would gesture for the others to move slightly off the road, just so they have a little bit of hidden among the forest.
Okay. Okay. I will get Gaius to give me a hunting roll here.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, just missed.
Okay. And then give me a dex roll.
Missed.
Okay.
I found a branch.
This won't be too big of a deal, but Dudig, you'll be making your first roll. I want you to make an awareness test.
Excellent. Awareness, quick. Damn.
That was close.
We are nailing it today.
Yeah. And then Gaius, give me a heraldry or a recognize test.
Where is it? Heraldry or recognize? Heraldry 11, recognize 15. Ah, god damn it. Nope.
Okay. I'll give you a heraldry test too. What's your heraldry at?
11.
Yeah, you can add a +5. That's fine. You don't need it.
Cool.
You see banners of Silchester.
Silchester! Cool.
Yeah.
He will then make himself known. Ride into the open and call out. Obviously enough that his companions behind him can see. And approach. Hail, travelers of Silchester!
Okay, so I'm going to bring Dudig in and explain what has happened. Not too long ago, you were in the process of sieging London when you were caught in a pincer alongside the rest of the Silchester army. You managed to fight your way out of the pincer back into Silchester lands, where you were covered in stains. Now you're riding to Silchester in direct accompaniment of your hired lord, Sir Ufo.
Okay.
And out comes this random knight from the road.
He is a
Well,
large
hello
knight.
there.
Sorry, you go. He's a large knight with balding hair. Well met, traveller. I am Sir Gaius. I see your banners of Silchester. Have you come from the battle?
Indeed. Caught in a pincer and forced back for a time.
And I must ask, were you riding with Sir Ufo by chance?
Okay, so before you answer this, Ufo is your outrider for Ufo. So Ufo is on his way down this path right now, Dudig. Feel free to answer whatever way you wish, whether it's from a trusting standpoint or a suspicious standpoint. Feel free to do what you will with that. But someone is inquiring about your lord, and your lord is on his way down here.
I know for a fact that my lord can kick anybody's ass. So I will be telling him, yes, he's our outrider at the moment. On his way up.
Good. We seek him on behalf of his fiancée, or perhaps wife. I'm not sure. The Lady Jenna sent us, nonetheless. I have companions. He gestures behind him.
I will take you to our camp.
Thank you, traveller. And your name, sir? I forgot it.
Sir Dudig.
Well met. Onward.
I leave into the camp.
Okay. So you reach Ufo's camp. It's about halfway between Silchester and Staines. You see that Ufo himself is on the mend. And yeah, I'll leave the rest to you. He's currently supported by several rear guardsmen, some of the finest warriors of Silchester.
So Rodri would make his way over to Sir Uther and would go, Your Grace, I come to you with news from your fiancé.
Your banner looks familiar, so does your face, but forgive me for saying that I don't remember you.
It is of no concern. I am Sir Rodri of Idmiston. I come here as a knight of Salisbury.
Ah, Sir Florence's home. That would explain why I'm less familiar with the heraldry. He wears the axe much more than this cross these days.
Indeed, my brother does. However, your fiancé wished to see that you were well, and it sent us here to ensure that that was the case. How did the
Indeed.
battle go?
Well, they are here.
You are the one who my father sent in, yes?
Yes. Fortunately, I could not secure the forces of Londinium to aid us. They seem so set in their ways.
London hasn't mustered since Uther died. And even then, it was just nothing short of a miracle that they mustered for Albans to begin with. The knights there grow fat and lazy.
I quirks an eye to Sir Third and Sir Gaius.
I am not of London. I was knight of the Baroness Everard of Kingstown and Sir Jaron. Both sadly lost to, Saxon invasions and, madness, I've heard.
I'll take a good old look at you like, damn, you're talking about people going crazy?
He'll just let it slide and defer to UFO.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't gotten fat yet. Lazy, certainly not.
I think Rodri was making reference to the knights you saw there and the references you directly made about them being out of shape. So,
Oh, yeah, true.
I want to check in. I haven't heard a word from Gary. Or do we have you connected?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
The humble priest. I was just waiting patiently. for
Sounds
the
good.
scene.
Yep.
The humble priest steps forward and he says, "My lord, I am also part of this companionship that was sent by your fiancé. If you need the prayers of the Lord, solace, my ears are always opened, and my hands are also skilled at mending the wounds of the flesh as well as my words can mend that of the spirit. I am at your disposal."
I see. I make for Silchester now, and I have a wedding to see to. I would be honored to invite you all to it, considering the Lady Jenna entrusted you all with such a thing. If you would join me, I would very much appreciate it.
Your Grace, if I may ask, what of Londinium?
Their
Do we know if
strategies
it's
were
a scam?
sound and is likely to fall, I'm afraid.
So that's it. We're abandoning the capital.
We are stepping back to lick our wounds and consider our options.
This doesn't feel right.
It isn't. But it is what it is.
Does not need to be, though. Surely, perhaps more overtures could work if we could slip someone in.
Overtures to the Saxons, priest.
They are men like you and I. They have ears and they have minds. They can be appealed. Is not, or was not, your father allied with the Saxon? He said, looks to the Lord Ufo at that.
Of Sussex, yes. Not of Kent and Essex.
They may be more vicious, but they too can be turned by the Lord's prayers and common sense and good reason.
When was the last time a god won a war?
Clearly you're not well versed in the reign of Constantine, eh?
Someone
Painting of
long
the cross
dead?
upon his shield?
Can't say I have.
God has won many wars.
In recent years,
Not here.
Tell me,
um,
Ufo, are you aware of how the Saxons treat priests?
In my father's generation, there were horror stories. I believe that those who have settled now for many years have started to adopt some of our customs. We see some of their lords riding upon horses, and we heard rumors that some have even converted. Though I've yet to see one with my own eyes. Perhaps they will go the way of the barrack, but that would require a conqueror first, as Aurelius was. Someone that they would swear fealty to. We lack that. And so they remain in control of the lands they hold, and have little reason to convert to our customs.
But
or
there
to
are
our
stories of
faith.
those that have harried their control, such as Lord Jaron.
And myself. And I just like salter in, trying to be a little bit cocky about it. Like, yeah, I'm a fucking Saxon. What of it?
Yeah,
He
is
just
he?
kind of looks at him, very
Yeah.
much in the way of a, and you are?
Sir Dudug.
Right. Perhaps there is an opportunity here, Sir Ufo. We can't just leave London to its fate.
Very well. Even so,
And I... Yes.
we would need a proper plan.
I think I have just what we need. So far, I have but one request I would need to. Is there a priest in your contingency who is willing to do without that priestly robes? Preferably one of Roman Christian.
I have no name to give you or grant you in that regard. We have allies within the walls. The bishop himself, Quintus.
Perhaps I shall find what I'm looking for. Stage.
You can test a recognize roll on that.
Nope.
Okay. Sounds really familiar for some reason.
With your permission. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if Sir Lord Ufo is so certain that Londinium will fall, maybe there's a way that we can make the Saxons weaker for holding it.
My thoughts exactly. So, Ufo, with your permission, I would like to lead a contingency into Londinium, and attempt to harry the Saxons of their conquest of the city.
Harry them. You recognize
Yes.
the numbers, Sir Rodri. This is not a mere game. The Saxons have gained all this territory because everyone continues to underestimate them.
I know, but I do not plan to underestimate them. I plan to use every tool I have at my disposal. I will not fail. I will do whatever it takes.
I would start with changing the language then. You speak not of harrying, you speak of preparing. There will be no army great enough inside of London to deal with London. They will ensure that. And there will be no effort you can do that will be great enough to take on the Saxons of Essex and Kent yourself.
Perhaps not both.
Perhaps not one.
We shall see.
I have a thought. Do you imagine that the Saxons, I know there are two different camps, they have sent the lion's share of their troops to capture London? Can attack their supply lines?
You can leave the counter activities to my father, Sir Knight.
Fair enough.
Give me a battle test. Anyone who wants it, or intrigue if you don't have battle.
Oh, what's intrigue? Oh, they're both so bad.
Past battle.
Uh,
So we got one of each. There you go.
oh,
Baby.
Yeah, so I mean, it's no surprise that Duddick has this. Who else succeeded? Uthadred?
Yeah,
I
I
got
got
battle. Uthadred got intrigue.
Intrigue. Yeah. I think the impression you're getting, right? And this is Bob trying to kind of be realistic with laying out how a response would be. Like sending 5 guys in to like Goonies their way through London to somehow overthrow it is wild. Like it's not only sort of like it's not like, sometimes there's the heroic impossible task, but it's like we do it anyways because it's an anime. This is kind of like, this is not that. This is him saying,
Throwing lives
yeah,
away.
you're not, herring supply lines gonna happen.
Yeah.
There is no, there is something to be done from within the walls. Harrying the Saxons is probably not going to lead to people surviving very long inside the walls. What they need is what they didn't have this time, a prepared London that was ready to do something when it was needed. But London by itself won't do anything. They will need
motivation.
No,
Like, yeah.
They will need another opportunity, like the one where Ulfius had a giant army in front of London's gate, and then triggering some kind of activity out inside of London might make sense, right?
Yeah. But it'd be about preparing them.
Yes, exactly. Now, Harry, all you want, do all that stuff. I just want to stress the magnitude of like what you're up against there. This wasn't like 5 Saxons. This is like hundreds and hundreds of Saxons inside the walls, kind of occupying in a military state over the greatest city we know. Now, some of this is stuff we already know has happened, so I'm trying to be a little more forthcoming with it, so we don't just end up in a roundabout way here. But yeah, effectively, that's what's being said, and so Uthadrid and Derek are aware of that. I think everyone else, based on what was being said, is probably overestimating the cause or underestimating the task at hand. I would like the shepherd, though, who is a little more, familiar with ways of peace and not sort of kicking doors through to answer every result. To make you have a skill that's specific to your priest. I'd like you to make that.
Is that the clergy skill or is that the religion skill?
The first one. What's it called?
Oh, I think that was chirurgery. I think it would be religion.
No, there was a skill. I thought there was a skill we gave you. One sec.
Yeah, but I think we were just subbing it over religion. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe that. I think that might have been the case.
It was like called like priest or something like that.
Yeah, because it covered a million. It covered a bunch of things. Okay, yeah. So yeah, in that case, if we sub it over priest, just click that.
I'll actually put religion. Right.
Okay, so the skill you just rolled is not just like knowledge of your religion. It covers a whole bunch of things from the angle of being a priest. Like, opportunities that maybe the nobles are overlooking. Like, right now, without London being available to the people will starve. There'll be mass famine. Commoners will die. Fields will, this is the common port of trade for the island, and it's now potentially occupied by a foreign invader, and it's never fallen before. So that's one key opportunity would be trying to establish some kind of exporting of things. I'm giving you that one more as flavor because that might be interesting to a priestly character. On top of that, though, being able to potentially have influence over some of the Saxons, you see an opportunity to maybe apostolize while you're there. In addition to that, sort of readying a London preparedness, because you've been to London many of times, and it's kind of more of a den of laziness and laziness and sin. You might even see it, right? So it's not really in a place where there is really any militia, outside of the garrison that held there. Most of the knights are, as Ufo said, growing fat and lazy. They aren't keeping up their skill, and they certainly won't be ready for any sort of counter response if an opportunity presents itself.
I must speak my mind here. We should not allow simply the idea that war, the sword, the mallet be the only option. Here, there is grave truth of the matter is that London is held by Saxon hands, and shall be for some time. Even with our best efforts, it will take time. With London sealed off, grain, trade, commodities on which we have this entire island has relied on from that board of trade, will come to a crawl unless overtures can be made. Saxons are not fools, and they value money as much as the next man. Thin though it might be, would make overtures to open trade, to conduct diplomacy, to bide time. And while acting on these peaceful actions, perhaps efforts could be made to turn their swords into plowshares and sharpen the blades of those Londonians within and thin out their bellies, as you mentioned, and he gestures to those who said that they'd grown fat and lazy.
Well, if we're to be a thorn in their side, then at least London is a powerful location upon which we could do this thing. I have little else to do. I've lost everything. I need purpose. I've
There
spent
is
some
oppor-
time in London,
Okay.
and I am perhaps well placed to help. I will volunteer.
There is opportunity here, my lord. I think it should be taken.
Sir Ufo
If
just kind of
if given leave, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Sir Ufo just kind of responds to that by putting his hand over his eyes. Go ahead, Dedic.
If given leave, your lordship, I am familiar with the people. Could make it more likely for it not to blow up all in their face. And who knows? Maybe we can make a song out of it still.
Stoking a nightly flame.
He nods. I see that we are, in fact, in need of eyes and ears in London. And more, perhaps, than that. I won't say no to this, if this is your desire. I'm just not certain how I can be of much help. Once you're in London, you'll be at risk, as most of you already know, and traveling to and fro will not be so easy. I would say once again, do not underestimate King Acewine or King Ace. They are dangerous and wise.
I have but one request if you would be willing to honor it. And with that, Rotary would take off his coat of arms and remove it from his horse and would kind of hold it up to him and say, "Would you be able to return this to my family? They need not know exactly what has happened to me, but I do not think I can carry this around if my aim is to enter Londinium."
That would be my exact recommendation to all of you. He says, accepting Rotary's requests by taking the information with and nodding to him. Or not taking the information, taking the cloak and heraldry and nodding to him. The Saxons have spies. They always have. I'm sure many of you have heard that the rumors that perhaps even Torellius himself was poisoned by a Saxon. Unconfirmed, of course, but it would be wise to be erring on the side of caution. As such, if you are to undertake this endeavor, I would say that none outside of this conversation should be aware of it. And that would mean following in the steps of Rodri, finding an appropriate alibi for why you're in London, and shedding your service to others if it will be an obvious threat. That's interesting. Gaius is tied.
Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. I think he's torn. But I think it makes sense. I think at this point, he doesn't hold out much faith that his family or anything else have survived. You know, Evrard is certainly not in control. She's no longer a lord. Therefore, his loyalty to her is, I mean, if she's alive, and he doesn't necessarily suspect that either. I think he's sort of coming to terms with the fact that, there isn't much point in him just trying to march back into Lambor or Hartford anyway, because it's been conquered. So that can all get put to the side until that's an option in the short term. Yeah, I think he's just trying to find a way to make a difference. And he's just one guy, but this is kind of a job for one guy, not an army, So not one guy, but a small group of people at least. So I think he's sitting there and he's looking down at his, at his colours, and he sort of takes them in his hand, and he's just, clenches his fist around it. He just sighs and shakes his head, and takes them off and puts them in his hand to Ufo. I do have just one request, Your Grace. I swore to you, Lady Jenna, that I would send her word of your well-being. Can I put it in your capable hands, that you will see her yourself as soon as you're able? Tell her that I've fulfilled my quest.
I'm on my way there now, he says.
Then my honor is in your hands, Sir Ufo, such as it is left, as I divest myself of these arms.
Where is Uthadrid sitting with this whole thing?
He doesn't. In his head, he's like, I'm from so far away. I don't really know if people would know my heraldry. He's like, so I'm trying to figure out, like, I was like, do I just burn it just to be safe, or do I keep my livery as I have this entire time? But I think I'm going to burn my livery because the house I served, the Lord I served, died.
Yeah,
I'm
that's interesting. Yeah.
I
Okay.
yeah.
Um.
So he doesn't have anybody to send his livery to. He's just like I'm I'm no one. I am a mercenary knight.
Farad and Dudig, since there's drawing attention to, um, since there's attention drawn to the heraldry for Uthadred, why don't you make a heraldry test for me?
Heraldry. Oop. No idea.
Looks super familiar. You just can't place it. And Farad can do the same.
One of a million Kimrick lords, I bet.
Right? Oh, so
Ooh.
close. Farad, it is bothering you. I'm going to give you a test later. See, you know, sometimes you recall information later.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll give you a
I think
test
I see
later.
that before.
Yeah. You're certain that there's something important with that one, but you just can't place it.
Rod will turn and put a hand on Sir Gaius' shoulder, though, and just quietly to him, he'll say,
When you said before that you had lost everything, not lost his love for you. He is always with you. You always have that.
It doesn't feel like it, Shepard.
Trust me, I know. He's watching out for you. Just need to follow his ways, and it will become clear.
They do say that he works in mysterious ways, but some days I'm afraid they're a little too mysterious for me. Thank you, Shepard.
Simple, he would not be everything.
he smiles and lets it drop there.
All right. Ufo will kind of stay with you all. He obviously has many more knights that are like not within the direct vicinity of this. He asks the group of you, is there anything that I might be of assistance with as you embark for your mission?
Maybe some of those very nice black cloaks.
He nods.
I would need a replacement cloak as well. To currently have my only one.
Ooh, okay, I can't remember societally because I've been playing a lot of L5R. Knights can fiddle with money, right?
What do you mean by fiddle?
Yeah, define fiddle. They gamble.
Like, can we bribe people without it being like a super hit to our honor?
Yeah, it's not like it's not L5R seppuku worthy. You're nowhere near that risk. It's you. If you're a high honor character, you might struggle to do that. If you're a high honest character, you might struggle to do that. It would be more on the side of deceitful and intrigue to do that.
Okay. Is it something that we can ask him without like I'm trying to gauge, is it something that I can ask or not?
You're asking for like a stipend is basically what you're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the appropriate way to ask that is a way where you leave out the obvious.
Gotcha.
But yes, literally in Book of Uther, they have like bribe money. Most of the major roles do, but that's also Uther's. area, the sheriffs have like bribe stipends. I can't remember where in Book of Uther, but it's there somewhere. So yeah, it wouldn't be unreasonable. And out of character, Ufo's not the, he's not Arthur. He's
Okay, I know it might be a little bit ridiculous, but can I roll a passion roll for this?
what do you want to test? I
Loyalty
usually,
Lord.
in what, like, let's take a step back, because usually I'll help guide someone towards the right role. What are you what are you wanting to test here? Like, are you asking
I would
to
love.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm hopefully trying to test intrigue because I want to ask this in a way that's not going to offend anybody's sensibilities here.
Okay, so you're asking to impassion yourself right now with Loyalty Lord.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Right. Oh wait, would that be actually courtesy
Yeah, you
or
can.
intrigue?
I think in this case, you're trying not to offend him. It would be courtesy.
Okay, so Loyalty Lord.
Oh God.
Oh,
Madness.
Ouch.
Auspicious.
We will forgive that roll because I don't have time for a madness roll right before you guys. You know what I mean? Go like it's
Yeah.
just gonna throw a giant curveball. So why don't you just take the
-5.
yeah, take a -5 on your courtesy roll instead.
I would like to also ask him if he knows anyone in the city, like a contact in which we can
Hey!
build from.
I did it.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll deal with Duddick's thing, and then I did hear what you were asking, Lutherdred. So I'll get to you next. So
I go like, my lordship, we do indeed need supplies for a great undertaking such as this. I suppose that you'll be leaving them on the outskirts of the camp before we leave, correct?
indeed, with with this, I'm going to ask for everyone's. Is anyone famously honest in this group?
Not famous.
No, Rotary is famously deceitful.
All OP.
Is it? Yeah. I think in that case, he smiles to everyone.
Famous is 16, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope, not famously honest.
Okay. He
I
looks.
just think it's funny because it's like, are you famously honest? I'm not famous, but I lean that way.
Okay. I'm gonna do a roll off here for Dadig and Therad. Dadig, I want you to make a Loyalty Lord test. Actually,
Another one? No.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. That's going to be the case. So this might pain your character a bit, but he does accept your request, but he puts the shepherd in charge of the money.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. You're still a mercenary knight after all. And then Rodri is not known for being, he's known for being a bit of a courtly knight, which comes with some things. Gaius is a little bit more of an unknown to him as far as could go either way. And Uthadrid is very clearly a young mercenary knight.
Makes sense.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
honestly, can I check? Can I quick check? Like, no, I'll just like.
Yes.
I gotta roll
I
off between forgiving
I
and vengeful from this.
no. I think
Like,
we first test. Yeah, give me a test of your choice on either modest or proud. We start with how much this stings your ego, and then we go from there.
well, obviously, I'm a very proud motherfucker, so I'm gonna
Okay.
go proud first.
Okay. Test proud.
Alright.
Ooh,
Ooh, failure.
test modest. Maybe you just appreciate UFO enough not to. Nope, you're
Nope.
still uncertain. So with this, I agree. Let test forgiving or vengeful.
Vengeful. Vengeful first.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
no need to test forgiving. No need to test forgiving. Yeah, once you
Oh.
succeed at a number in the 6th edition, it just counts as a good. So with
Oh.
with vengeful succeeding, that's why you get to choose. You get to choose your poison on which you test first. But with vengeful succeeding, you hold a grudge. This is we cut to a Michael Jordan meme, and he says, and and I took that personally. So
Yep.
yeah.
All
So
right, let me get to my notes.
I can, of course, steward the money. That should not be an issue. A shepherd such as me has no need for this, but I understand its value.
it's your lack of need for it is precisely why I'm leaving it with you, Shepherd Farad.
I understand trust comes hard. That's all he says.
All I would ask, Sufo, is if, or rather, when Heartland is liberated, if you could spare a man or two to find what they can of my family, if they yet live, it would put me in your debt, your grace, and I take that seriously.
When you say your family, do you mean the family that birthed you, or the one you've sworn oath to?
The one I've made, your grace. My wife and my children.
I see. You would know too that it's uncommon for like household knights to have families in most places, right?
Yeah,
So-
it's a reasonable question. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They cost money. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Exactly.
Very well then. You can stay and break bread with us, and then I will leave you to your plans as we make for Silchester.
Thank you, your grace.
Thank you, Your
Yes,
Grace.
Lord Ufo.
Thank you, Your
Do
Grace.
you know anyone inside the walls of London? Someone you
yes.
trust?
There is one.
Gaius would probably know a few people as well. He spent a bit of time there beforehand, and he was sort of trying to intrigue up support already, so he's probably, a little bit ahead of the curve in this regard.
I have reason to believe that Sir Lywark remains in the city. You can all do a recognize roll +3. +4, actually.
Yes.
Got him.
Okay. Yeah, even for
I got him.
Uthred with the failure, you're like, that sounds familiar. You know what I mean? You're like, I just can't place it. Everyone else, you recognize it. He was a deputy constable under Uther in Uther's court.
He's still kicking. What was his
Terrible
name?
with
Sorry,
names.
sir.
I remember faces.
Hmm.
His name was. Oh, you're writing it.
What?
Thank you. Sliwak.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I think that's probably a pretty decent pause point for the night. What do you guys think? I know we're not quite back in London, but it seems like we've pretty much figured out. I think it's just you know what? We can do one more thing. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to discuss amongst yourselves the entry plan, because we have yet to determine how the hell you're going to get back in London.
Like with that, Rotary would call them together,
Be right back.
probably around a fire. No problem.
You guys can continue, though. I can hear you.
Yeah. Rotary would call them all together and would say, all right. First things first. We need a plan of entry. Now, I certainly think that there is a good possibility they will welcome in a hapless priest. But I also imagine that they are indeed looking for mercenary knights.
You want us to try to get hired by the locals?
That or the Saxons.
It's not a bad idea. I can be the front for. I could try to be a front. Say I'm a mercenary captain.
Indeed, I imagine you will be useful as you speak the language. Unfortunately, my Saxon is rusty.
Or fortunately.
I will not disagree with this.
There is also
There is-
another option. Oh god.
Oh no.
Go ahead,
quiet,
Shepard.
please. I was simply suggesting there are things every city will need, even cities under besiegement. Information, messengers. We could pose as few number of us could pose as messengers, bringing news, parcels, letters, that sort into the city. I
I
can
don't think I
write
quite look the
if
part.
necessary.
Gaius is size 18 for whatever that's worth.
I think it is important they have no reason to believe we have loyalty to any other counties.
Well, I could, to be honest, tell them that my lands and my loyalties were taken from me, but
I do
maybe
not
that
know if honesty will do us much well. But if it can be twisted to our advantage, I see no reason to say against it.
Indeed. I could pretend to be dumb, like just a laborer, working for the humble priest, as it were.
You definitely get me to scrunch up my nose at the idea of just being a common laborer, but I don't say anything out loud.
I don't know about any of you, but I am far from this place. I don't currently owe allegiance to a lord. I can be fairly honest that I am working for coin. A blade for hire.
The only problem with that is that, well, they may hire you. Send you off on some battle. Then you'll no longer be in London.
It's like,
It is important that if we are hired, it is to do work in Londinium.
they have to defend what they hold, right? I don't
That is
imagine
true.
they're going. I don't imagine they're going too far. But again, I'll leave it up to you. It was just a suggestion.
You said that you are not deceiving them when you say this, but in essence you are, unless you truly take their coin. Jobs
I
they
fully
wish
intend to
you give
take
them.
their money. I mean, it's
But
not
do
really
you
theirs if you
intend to,
think about it.
do you intend to honor the spirit in which it is taken? For if you do not, then there is deceit in your heart, and that they might detect it.
I don't know what you mean. Deceit.
Ah,
It's like, I fully intend to take the money. They took it from somebody else. It's only right that it goes to a better cause, which is me.
The shepherd doesn't say anything to that.
I think Dudug is gonna like, even though he's pissed off at the shepherd right now, he goes batting for the shepherd, being like, Utho believed that the shepherd had the correct temperament to deal with money. I think that we should follow his plan when it comes to it.
What I'd like to put forward is this. There are two options. We can either go forward as knights or as something else. For us specifically. I know not each of your skills in twisting of words nor deception, but I can tell you I am one well trained and understands the art.
I have some skill in surgery. I could pretend to be. Well, it wouldn't be much of a pretense. I could be a doctor, working with the clergy. He nods to the shepherd. Then I could keep something of my honor intact. Still a noble cause, noble work, and all that.
There you go. And you, Utherud, are you preferring to go there as your mercenary knight self?
If you think it's beneficial. I really don't know. Um, I'm
I think it would
fairly
be
good at.
good.
I'm better at using a blade than I am my words. As I told you before, I am an acquired taste. Uh, but I'm fairly good at gathering gossip.
In that case, I think it is good that you arrive as a companion to Sir Dudog, as mercenary knights, looking for work among the Saxons.
I fully agree with this, for who can deny my valor when I show them my moves?
I look forward to it. I don't speak Saxon, so forgive me.
All
I
right.
know
Go ahead.
a word or two of Saxon, but hope they will learn it in time. Uh,
And
yes, we'll go with.
a question for you, Shepherd. Do you happen to have any spare robes?
You wish to play the doting priest amongst the father here?
An assistant, perhaps?
Would I have spare robes? Probably like one or two for myself that I'd have for myself. I
I
guess.
think
Right?
that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that would be exactly it.
I have two that I use that I change between. I suppose I could hand over one of them or two.
Perhaps we could pick up more in Staines.
Visit a church on the way in.
They're not fancy by any means. It should not be too difficult to acquire new ones. Even if we need to acquire them in London, I could go without.
Very well. I think you could do well. I am also one that is well versed in the art of the knife. Plus, I think it would be
Oh, I
suspicious
thought
for a priest to carry a sword.
I thought you were going to say we're versed in the Bible, but I suppose the knife is useful as well. I'll go over some liturgies as we travel, just so your ruse is not upended too quickly.
A good idea, Shepard.
They do say that this Saxon king is clever.
Indeed. Though we will need to be cleverer.
You know, I know this is just dreams and fantasy. But what better way to make London surrender than having their king under our knife?
If there is an opportunity for that, the king's head will roll.
I just will give you a big smile to that.
I don't expect we'll get that chance.
Neither do I.
Father, you never did tell us if we are to be traveling so close. May I inquire? What happened to your neck there?
Yeah, sure. When I was still young, younger than I am now, about 9 or 8 years ago, a group of Saxons, or their ilk, they might have been one of those other tribes that come with them, came into my home in Rustall in Kent. And, they tied a rope around my neck and dragged me behind them throughout the town. It left a mark.
He smiles slightly.
I see.
But God preserved me, and my voice may have suffered some, but the challenge and a test towards forgiveness, I believe, the Lord has bestowed upon me.
Well, you do embody the Lord's forgiveness.
I'm still working on that, he says with a kind of a shake of his hand.
Well, you're further along than I.
Constant. Sure. We could all go further. The goal of us all is to become without sin. To be like his son. At least that is what my teacher and his beliefs taught. He kind of waves his hand. I am not so much the doctrines of Augustine.
It's like, if I'm gonna have to listen to this for the whole trip, I need alcohol.
Let's get drunk.
You will have an opportunity in Staines to do just that if you wish before you make your way to London. Okay, we're gonna do this in a form of a very simple roll from each of you. Choose the. Let's actually just kind of go through it. Shepard and Gaius are going in together. Is that correct? Farad and Gaius.
Farad, Gaius, and
The Rotary.
Rotary
Yeah.
as well.
Run
Okay.
the Rotary.
Rotary in the disguise of a priest.
Okay, Farad, you can test honest or your priest skill.
test my priest skill.
How religious are you today?
All right.
Ooh, very religious.
Guys,
Correct.
Oh shit!
guys, you can test surgery +5 because of Farad.
Ooh, thanks, Farad. Nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I needed that +5.
Yep. Rodri, you can test intrigue +5.
All right. Oh, 7.
It's okay.
What a success.
Yeah, with having the shepherd there, and then guys being able to speak to the quiz he gets on surgery to some degree, the trick questions he gets on it while he's being inspected is enough to kind of make, once they confirm those two, they don't really ask Rodri too many questions, which allows him to get under the disguise of the other priest, which I think was your intention, yes?
Yep.
Okay, and then Dudig and Utherdred, you're just doing you're just going in as mercenary knights, yes?
Yes. Yes. Follow the money.
Okay. In that case, let's see here. What do I want to do with this? I will get you to test the battles, either battle horsemanship or weapon skill of your choice to represent the fact that you're a knight. Or honest. Actually, you can't. Or deceitful, rather. Yeah.
Would it be out of place to try to passion for this? Just to be like, yeah, I want to
Nope.
not fail this.
I will say that if it goes bad, I'm not gonna pull the punch this time. But yeah, you're welcome to. So if it fumbles, it fumbles. The dice go as
Don't
it go.
roll a 20.
I'm just gonna try honor.
No cinema today. Oh,
Okay, and then
Great.
Dudig. You're also testing honor, okay?
and then when you click the sword button, there should be an option to modify it. Is it sword that you're rolling, and then +5 on that, or just
He had the option of yeah, sword works. Okay, everyone is in London. It is now, let's see, it's probably nearing summertime. So when we pick up next time, we're going to still try and slide through 503 as quick as we can, get into 504, and then we can slow down a little bit, and then 505 is where we're gonna really get into things here. So thanks for playing, guys. I'd go longer, but yeah, we've been at it for a while. So I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks
Later.
all.
Take care, everyone.
Absolutely, it was wonderful
Bye.
playing.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.